Just remember, by no means am I a bicycle mechanic. I've got my GT, what is it, 2022 LTS high pivot here. I've had a few people asking about the creaks and whatnot that happen with these. I've noticed there's nothing else on the tube, so I've decided to create a little thing on how to prevent these creaks. In my experience, I've had a couple LTSs, or I still have them. So what we're going to do is today is I'm going to show you what I've found in my experience is the main culprit to these. So this is the LTS high pivot. What I've found is with the trunnion shock, you can see here, sometimes these might come loose. Tweak these up. These are better. They seem to hold better on the high pivot than what I've found, what they did on the LTS. I've got another LTS over here I can show you, which is my 2020 Force. That trunnion setup's a bit different than what these are. Not much, but the same, work on the same principle that I found. So what I'm going to do is show you how this little fella here will be your main problem when it's creaking. So you've got your main shock pivot, your main upper swing arm area here, and you've got your lower. The lower can creak, and I have experienced that a little bit, but it's not your common, this isn't your common one. It's this one here that you'll find that most of the noise will come from. So I've got a couple of tools, my multi-tool, little chisel, I'll show you why. This guy here, the star head for that bolt there, and a persuasion tool. So you got, this is the main barrel that goes through the pivot. You can see how that's splayed. I'm not sure how well that's showing up. This little guy here drops in there, right? And this one's a bit, this one's worn out. The reason I replaced this is actually because of the Allen key face is stripped out of it. I couldn't undo it anymore. I couldn't service it properly. So that's actually the only reason I replaced this. So that fella goes in there, right? This here goes in there, and this little guy here, holds it all together. See, that screws up, and that pushes in there. You can see here again, it's got these 4 grooves on it. That pushes in as you tighten that holds it in place. So I could be wrong, but from how I understand it, how it works is the creaking comes from this part here. This has got another Allen key body in it here. I think that's a 6mm. So that's in there, right? That's what you need to tighten. There's no point of tightening this stuff here unless this guy here is tight. Once that's tight and in place, and it could only be a quarter of a turn, and that'll be what I've found, that'll be all your noise. Once you get that tight, you can put all this malarkey back in. I'm just going to today undo this, show you guys how I've undone them in the past. Give it a little tap, pop the other side out, because you need both sides, both of these cones here need to be loose. Once both of those cones are loose, you can tighten this. If that guy's still tight and still pressed in there, that's splayed out still, and you won't be able to turn this. You'll think it's tight, but it's not. I think that's where a lot of people come unstuck with trying to tighten these up. You need to loosen this. So what you want to do first is try to do this one-handed. Undo this little guy. It's a little bit loose. So I'm just going to turn that out half a turn or however you like. And try to use a hammer and maybe make a GoPro hammer. That might work. hang on, I've got the wrong hand here. This is live cam, right? I'm going to put that little guy there. Oh, hang on. Put that little guy there, in there, right? The reason I'm doing this is to prevent chewing out the threads that I was talking about earlier in that. I'm just going to give that a little tap. That moved. Not much, but enough. So the reason I've done that, that will now pop that out of here. That'll pop that out, and that'll be loose now, right? But this little guy here, he'll still be tight, and that's why there's an Allen key in there, another Allen key hole. So I'll get my hex or my star, or whatever you want to call it, under this fella. That'll pop out. Put that over there. You can see the bolt on this side that I was talking about. What's that, a 4mm? So you see how that just popped out? That was already under load, right? Because of with the weight of that, the grooves in there, the way it pushes, splays out and holds it in place. So that's all I have to do there. I don't need to take that out. Now I need to crack this out. So sometimes these have come out with a bit of a bang, but because I've tapped it, I may not. So that's just come straight out on the tool. I'm going to put that guy there. Now this fella here, which is a 6mm. Now there's no pressure on this side with the cone on the other side. There's no weight, no pressure on that anymore. We'll put him in here. So that's not even a quarter of a turn, but that'll be the creak. I've noticed a little creak. You probably seen on my other videos that I ride this bike quite a lot. You can't hear the creaking on those videos because of my heavy breathing. That's what happens when you get old and fat. It's really hard to breathe. Or it might be something else. I'm not sure what it could be. It's really a mystery. So that's all I need to do there. So I'm just going to pop this guy back on here. Sorry for the wonky camera. So I've popped him back on there. And stick that back in here. That guy there, right? So sometimes I've found that it's a bit hard to get the thread back on. So I've got my persuasion hammer. I'm just going to tap it in. Just remember, by no means am I a bicycle mechanic. My methods may not be correct, but they worked for me. So what I've got now is I'm going to do this little guy back up. This little guy here back up. Alright. I'm going to get, so for a 4mm, do some mad pod angles here. See how that works. I'm not sure if it's going to work. All I'm going to do is, because I can't hold the camera at the same time, you stick it in the hole on this side, and that star. I'm just going to hold that in place while I tighten this up. It says on here 5 Newton meters of torque, which I'm pretty sure is just a good tweak on the wrist. That's exactly 5 Newton meters. I think there's 5 Newton meters, right? You can see now that's not all the way in. What I've learnt the hard way is don't just swing off that. It doesn't help. It just strips out your bolt heads. What I'll do tomorrow is I'm going for a little rippy poo in the morning. I'll take my multi tool with me, and I'll when I get on the trails, I'll tweak that once the bike goes through its travel a bit. I've never really put much grease or anything in there. I'm not sure if how much that'll help. I actually have once before and it didn't seem to make much difference. It's just the tension on that one there. That should fix the creak. Only reason I got the wheels off is because I got some fresh tyres on. I got some new Continental Krypton, or what are they? Kryptotals. Kryptotal? Yeah. Anything else, or if you've got any queries on anything else with these bikes, let me know and I can make other little videos. If you wanted me to do other little videos on my other bikes, let me know and I'll start posting some. Cheers.